The vertical construction of Aviktas could be just days away from commencing. Hot Ice is confirmed to be returning for 2026 with not just one, but two brand new shows and an interesting promotional image. And it's staggered ride closures galore as the park stumbles its way through winter weekends. Hello and welcome back to ThrillNet, and welcome to what is the first episode of what is going to be a brand new Pleasure Beach news series coming to the channel. Here we are. This is something I'm trialing. If it does well, I'll do more episodes. If it completely flops, then I won't. But yeah, I've decided to start this new series in the light of some dilemmas I've been having with the channel over the past year or so. Obviously, like a lot of theme park channels, a large portion of my content is news based, and in the past when parks release news, I've always endeavoured to make dedicated news update videos as soon as the news comes out. And that's especially true for Pleasure Beach because, I mean, if you've seen any of the viewing figures for my channel, you'll notice that Pleasure Beach content tends to do pretty well, which isn't surprising because it's my local park and somewhere I love so much. It's my favourite park in the UK, so naturally I do tend to make a lot of Pleasure Beach content predominantly compared to other parks, so naturally my audience consists of a lot of Pleasure Beach fans. Now, these videos, don't get me wrong, tend to do very well, which is great and all. However, they can be pretty stressful to make because obviously when some news drops, there's a lot of pressure for me to just rush around and get the video out as soon as possible before the news becomes irrelevant. And as a result, the resultant videos often come out pretty rushed. In my opinion, they tend to be some of the poorest quality videos on the channel compared to some of the other speculation stuff I do, and even my vlogs in some cases, because videos that aren't news based, I just have so much more time to plan and edit. Not to mention that the news videos often tend to have a short shelf life. Despite doing very well, they'll often shoot up in terms of views and then just completely flatline because, as I alluded to, theme park news often becomes pretty irrelevant pretty quickly once everyone knows about it. Often news will come up that is important, but I often don't feel is worthy of its own dedicated video. But then later down the line, I'll often forget to cover it in a vlog like a week or two later, or some other form of update video I end up filming about Pleasure Beach, which would be an ideal time to mention that sort of information. And yeah, I just end up completely missing it. And these problems really are something that I've come to realise over the past year or so, and since then I've been thinking about how do I address them. Now, I really enjoyed Digital Dan's This Past Week in Theme Park series. I'm sure if you know who I am, you know who Digital Dan is because he's a much bigger theme park YouTuber than me. But yeah, essentially every week he researches all the theme park news across all the theme parks worldwide and collates it into a 10 to 15 minute video. And it's just an absolutely brilliant format. So I thought, why don't I put my own spin on that and do something similar that's dedicated to Pleasure Beach? So this series, Pleasure Beach Roundup, is essentially going to be a monthly roundup in which I cover everything notable Pleasure Beach related that has occurred over the past month, along with all the exciting developments we have to look forward to over the coming weeks. Now, ordinarily I aim to release Pleasure Beach Roundup videos at the start of every month, so the next video in this series should come out on Monday the 1st of December, all being well. However, due to getting caught up with my Halloween 2025 Scare Maze Rankings video, which you should go and watch because most of you haven't, that video's done awfully, I wasn't able to meet the deadline this time round of getting this out for the 1st of November. Obviously I wanted that video to take priority because Halloween was fast coming to an end then, and that video was going to get very irrelevant very quickly. However, hopefully that shouldn't be an issue and I'll be able to reliably get these videos out on the first day of each month going forward. And hopefully in doing that, my news update should hopefully be of much better value and quality than before. You're going to be getting more information delivered to you about the park that is valid over a greater time frame and presented in a more engaging manner. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough now. Let's jump straight into this month's news, and don't forget, if there's a specific development or story you're interested in, you can hop straight to it using the timestamps down in the description below. And we're going to be starting off with everything you need to know surrounding ride availability. Now, October saw the reopening of the Big Dipper following a 6-week long retracking project. This saw track replacement work take place on the turnaround section of the ride close to the Big Blue Hotel, Trivago, with the ride reopening on Saturday the 18th of October. What's interesting is retracking work on this section of the ride was only actually last carried out back in summer 2023, but I guess more needed doing. Either way, the ride experience remains relatively unchanged, but what's annoying is that the issue we've all been groaning about surrounding the ride only being able to run one train at a time, despite its being present since way back in summer 2024, still hasn't been resolved. At this point, I'm guessing it must be something related to health and safety regulation updates surrounding older rides with a manual braking system, and that we'll never see the ride on two trains again unless the park installs some sort of computerized braking system. But will they do that? Realistically, is it worthwhile in their eyes? Can they afford to, having just spent £8.72 million on a gyro swing? I'm really not sure, unfortunately. It's a real shame because on two trains that thing eats the capacity of the park, but on one train it just cannot cope with the crowds it gets. But be sure to share your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, in terms of more current ride availability updates, please be aware that if you are visiting the park during November, you'll be unable to experience the most exciting and thrilling ride of your life on Revolution. Rip that legendary announcement.
For your safety, please stand behind the yellow.
Tackle the impossible, take a ride with Dora on her world voyage, take a Bikini Bottom bus tour, or go streaking on Nickelodeon Streak. As they have all unfortunately closed early for the season, it really is frustrating that the park have staggered winter maintenance periods for rides. I can understand it for Nickelodeon Land because that area opens mid-February, but they have until March to sort everything else out. I guess they're doing it as a cost-cutting measure so that they don't have to have as many staff working at one time during the closed season, but regardless, they need to start offering reduced ticket prices for winter weekends, both for full park e-tickets and Nickelodeon Land only e-tickets, because it's just not fair. The current prices are the same as they were back in summer when everything was open. That is, of course, with the exception of River Caves, which is obviously still closed for its reimagining project. Just thought I'd better quickly remind you all of that. To their credit though, the park are really good at keeping the planned maintenance page on their website up to date with any planned closures, and I highly recommend keeping an eye out on it if you're planning a visit in November, as I wouldn't be surprised if additional rides, especially Nickelodeon Land attractions, do get added after this video has been released. Another thing to be aware of is staggered openings and closures of attractions and reduced capacity on rides. Yes, the park is typically quieter at this time of year, but they do tend to make a lot of operational changes to compensate for that in reducing running costs. For example, the big one moved from 2-train operation to 1-train operation back in October. Steeplechase tends to close an hour early, and various other rides just seem to randomly open and close late as well. It really is annoying that Pleasure Beach do this, especially at this time of year. They're incredibly guilty for it, but again, it's just a cost-cutting measure that they unfortunately choose to make. But at the end of the day, would we rather have the park open or would we rather have it closed? Because I know what my answer to that would be. Moving swiftly on to shows and events news, which is going to take up the bulk of this video actually, with us heading towards Christmas. There's quite a lot going on at the park, and with Halloween having just ended, that leaves us even more to discuss and reflect on. Starting off with Journey to Hell Freak Nights, which obviously Pleasure Beach is after hours scare event that took place from the 23rd of October to the 1st of November 2025, all over the Halloween half-term period, and was obviously priced at £39.50 per person on weekdays and £45 on weekends. Now, the event obviously consisted of roaming actors as well as 5 scare zones as they call them, and that included 3 scare mazes and 2 live action ride overlays, those being for the Ghost Train and the Alice in Wonderland dark rides. Now, if you've watched my vlog from the event or my Halloween 2025 scare maze rankings video, you'll know that unfortunately I wasn't a big fan of the event at all for various reasons. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I didn't think the mazes were the best quality, and just the acting in general, I found it to be quite unprofessional, mainly due to the quite consistent and significant use of strong language, which just didn't really sit right with me for an event that's marketed to those aged 10 and older. The actors weren't really performing many jump scares in the mazes or anything. They were kind of just running about making random noises and stuff. And it didn't really feel like they were trying to be scary. They were more trying to be, I guess, comedic is the best way to put it. I didn't find it particularly funny, but it felt more like a creepy adult comedy show rather than a scare event. Now, this doesn't necessarily apply to those aspects that I've just complained about, but it does seem that the park may be looking to address some people's complaints about the event that have been present over the years in coming years. I can't be 100% sure on this, but there were changes that were made throughout the duration of the event to suggest that this might be the case, and I can only assume that they've been done in response to upper management not being very happy with some of the feedback that it's been getting online. These changes included the option to upgrade a standard e-ticket within the Pleasure Beach app to add on Journey to Hell for a discounted price of £15, and that immediately made it far better value for day guests as well as season pass holders, because obviously Journey to Hell offers rides an unlimited number of times on some of the North Park rides, Derby Racer, Launchpad, Grand National and Fly Machines. However, you can do those rides all day anyway with a normal ticket or season pass, so you're essentially having to pay for those again as part of your cost to Journey to Hell. But with them introducing this discount, it kind of eliminated that in a way. This was actually taken a step further, however, on the final Friday and Saturday of the event, with the North Park rides that are obviously part of Journey to Hell that you can do an unlimited number of times that I just mentioned. Obviously that excluded Ghost Train and Alice in Wonderland, as they're obviously one-shot live action overlays. They actually remained open past regular park close for all day guests who were obviously already on park until the event closing time at 10 p.m. I believe park close was 6 p.m. on those days, so essentially what they did was after 6 p.m. they stopped allowing non-Journey to Hell guests onto park. The guests who had paid just for a Journey to Hell ticket could start coming on at 7 o'clock, but anyone who was already on park before 6 o'clock could stay on till 10. Could they have been potentially trialling something here? Could we potentially see a change in operation of the event for 2026 to be more in line with that of Scarefest and Fright Nights at Alton Towers and Thorpe Park? Like, I'm not necessarily expecting all rides to stay open till 10, but with this, I wouldn't be surprised next year if we see, say, all the rides open at 10 o'clock in the morning as normal, at around 6 p.m, 7 p.m. when Journey to Hell would normally start. All of the South Park rides close, the North Park rides stay open for everyone to enjoy, the roaming actors come out, Journey to Hell begins, and we see Ghost Train and Alice and whatever other rides they're using for this. They obviously change to their live action overlays. They might close obviously an hour before regular park close would be to allow obviously the actors to come into the rides and stuff, but that would be absolutely brilliant if the park could do that. Having the park stay open late but having upcharged scare experiences just like Scarefest and Fright Nights, and that's just such a better way to operate. You know, it'd make the event much better value for money. Having those cheaper prices that you'd be able to have for having upcharge attractions instead of a dedicated after hours event would mean more people would do Journey to Hell, and as a result the park would make more money. And moreover, those who don't want to do Journey to Hell will be able to stay on park for longer. They wouldn't be forced to leave, and they'd be able to contribute in the form of secondary spend on things like food, merchandise. It would literally open up so much flexibility for people, so many ticketing options. Obviously, season pass holders would be able to come and go as they please while the park is open between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. They could have a normal day out, but if they want, you know, purchase a combi ticket for the mazes. And then for regular day guests, you could have your regular e-ticket option, obviously. Your regular e-ticket plus the option to purchase a Journey to Hell combi ticket, either at the time of booking or on the day you visit. You could then have a dedicated Journey to Hell ticket for those who, you know, might be doing something else during the day but want to come on for some night rides, and potentially Journey to Hell in the evening, and that basically would get you access to the park after the time that Journey to Hell typically starts in previous years. So say you'd get on from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m, and then you could have your Journey to Hell ticket including the Journey to Hell combi ticket. So they'd still be separate because, you know, not everyone coming on after 7 o'clock may want to do the mazes, some may want to just do night rides. And then as well, I may be getting my hopes up a little bit here, but I'd also like to see individual scare maze tickets, because there might be some people out there who can't afford to or don't want to do all the mazes and all the live action ride overlays and whatever. What I do hope for next year though is, regardless of what maze and haunted ride overlay ticket options there are, you have the ability to do those things multiple times in an evening, because unlike the Merlin parks, you can't do that at Pleasure Beach. You can't even pay to do things again. Obviously, Merlin use a one-shot system where each ticket they sell for a scare maze or combi ticket gets you into each maze once. But if you want to do those things again, you can pay for them again. At Pleasure Beach, everything is a once and done. Even though the event has been a single price thing, you can't rerun mazes or haunted rides multiple times, which is crazy because, as all of you who've done scare mazes before will know, they are prone to inconsistency. But at Pleasure Beach, if you get a bad run through of a maze, it's tough. I honestly don't care how Pleasure Beach do this, in terms of they may use a one-shot system like Merlin, or they may have it so if you purchase a single maze ticket or a combi ticket, it gets you into the associated attractions an unlimited number of times. At the end of the day, I just hope as a bare minimum you can at least run the attractions regardless of whether you have to pay or not. As for regular park hours during the Halloween season, we obviously did see our usual roaming characters around the park, such as Loud Rock, the giant werewolf, activities and games in the hub, and face painting in Nickelodeon Land. So there was plenty for people to do who didn't want to do Journey to Hell or were too young, whatever. And all of that ran from the 11th of October to the 1st of November and was included with regular park e-tickets. And dogs and dog owners were invited to a Dress Up Doggy Sunday on Sunday the 2nd of November, in which dogs were encouraged to attend in Halloween themed fancy dress. This was obviously part of Pleasure Beach's Doggy Sunday events that they've been running since August, where on select Sundays throughout the season dogs have been permitted on park, because obviously they aren't normally. If you're a dog owner and would like to bring your dog to the park on one of these days, all you actually need to do is fill and complete a dog entry form on the Pleasure Beach website, and then you can purchase a dog entry pass for £10. And obviously you will need to, if you're an owner, purchase a regular e-ticket as well, by the way. I've not really heard anything about how Dress Up Doggy Sunday went down, but if you did attend it, then be sure to let me know how it was in the comments down below. Moving outside the park, Halloween 2025 saw the Cabaret Extreme Circus Stunt Show make its way to the Globe Theatre, with two versions, both priced from £20 per person, but catered for drastically different audiences. These included the Cabaret Extreme Family Freak Fest, which was obviously catered for families. As the name suggests, that ran from the 24th of October to the 2nd of November, and Cabaret Extreme Halloween Unleashed, which ran from the 23rd of October to the 2nd of November, which was strictly restricted to over 18s and described on the Pleasure Beach website as thrilling, provocative, and absolutely unforgettable. Now, I would absolutely love to know what that entailed, considered Journey to Hell is a 10+ event, and let's just say contained some pretty strong and in some cases quite degrading language that was quite shocking to hear, to be honest. And I'd really want to know what an 18+ Pleasure Beach event entails as a result of that, because, yeah, comment down below. Anyways, moving on to upcoming events, and it was recently confirmed that Hot Ice is returning for 2026 under the name Hot Ice XC, making it the second year of it having a weird 2-letter tagline. After much speculation, we all came to the conclusion that XS, the tagline of this year's Hot Ice show, probably meant extra small, which Josh from Theme Park Mad stated in a video he finds greatly insulting, by the way. But what could XC mean? I don't know, like extra cool, extra cocky? Or maybe it just means 90 in Roman numerals. All we really have to go off is the rather interesting promotional image that has been released, and I tell you what, it's going to set the internet on fire more so than the teaser poster for Valhalla's reimagining did way back when. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure their intention here is to capture some people's attention and put the hot in hot ice here, but I tell you what, she must be rather cold right there sat on that ice cube. But as I alluded to a moment ago, this will be the 90th incarnation of the world famous show, so it's definitely set to be a big one, with the show first launching way back in 1936. Now, those of you who are good at maths are probably questioning this, having worked out that if 1936 was the first year the show was held, then this would be its 91st year had it run every year. But obviously it did have a year off in 2020 due to obvious reasons, which is why next year's show will be the 90th year. Now, showings of Hot Ice XC will take place at 7 PM on select dates from the 9th of July, so as usual, you've got plenty of time to see it. Now, in previous years, the park held matinee showings of half of the Hot Ice show at 2:30 PM on select dates throughout the run of it. However, this year there's been some changes as the park are introducing a new family show that will be known as Alice Frozen in a Wonderland of Dreams. Now, this show will run on select dates from the 20th of July, and tickets for both shows will be priced at £10 per person, with more expensive VIP seats available for higher prices. Now, the infamous Valhalla, the Walk Beyond behind the scenes tour that first launched in summer and sold out in a matter of minutes despite being priced at the extortionate price of £250, made a return on Sunday the 2nd of November, and guess what? It sold out again in minutes. I know it's only open to like 10 people, but some of you guys are way too rich. The experience, which lasts approximately 90 minutes to 2 hours, gives fans a complete behind the scenes look at the ride's sets, effects and operating console, and includes a complimentary meal in Loki's bar as well as a free Speedy Pass one-shot for the ride. It's a real shame that the park priced this so highly, making it inaccessible to the vast majority of people, but I completely understand why, as the insurance costs associated with each person who sets foot in that building must be absolutely astronomical. At the end of the day, it makes a bit of extra money for the park while giving the most die-hard fans an unforgettable experience, so I'm all for it. If you're looking for a similar experience that's a little cheaper though, Pleasure Beach's highly regarded behind-the-scenes Parkwide tours that launched at the start of the season are making a return for November 2025, giving fans of the park an opportunity to get an exclusive look at areas off access to regular guests, such as underneath Derby Racer, the Flying Machine's engine room, and Icon's maintenance shed. Furthermore, Andy Highgate, the park's operations director, along with people who've already done the tour this week, have teased on social media that changes have been made this time round. So even if you've done the tour before, it may still be worth booking on. Tours last around 3 hours and take place on select Wednesdays, with upcoming dates including the 26th of November and the 3rd of December. Tours start at 9:30 AM and are priced at £55 per person. While in my eyes this is an incredible opportunity, the park really ought to look into introducing additional dates on weekends so that more people who are interested in doing such experiences, such as myself, can attend them. Obviously this isn't possible while the park is operating during winter weekends, but there's no reason why some Saturdays and Sundays in December couldn't be set aside. Speaking of winter, kids can enjoy the Christmas Grotto Wonderland event, which is returning from the 15th of November until the 24th of December, with tickets priced from £17.99 per child and including 2 accompanying adults. The event gives children the opportunity to meet Santa, grab a cheeky present out of his sack, if they've been good of course, explore a winter wonderland walkthrough and take a one-shot ride down the rabbit hole on Alice in Wonderland. And the Christmas spirit continues outside the park with a Stageworks worldwide production of Cinderella the Pantomime, arriving at the Globe Theatre on the 22nd of November and running until the 24th of December, with tickets priced from £15 per person. Now, Christmas parties aren't my thing at all, but for those who like that sort of thing, Pleasure Beach will be hosting Gatsby Christmas Party Night in the Paradise Room in the casino building outside the park from the 5th to the 20th of December, with ticket prices from £25 per person. And last but absolutely not least, it appears that the park now plan to host a fireworks display on closing day, which is Saturday the 29th of November for those who aren't aware, at park close, which is 5 PM. Now, interestingly, this was originally planned back when the park released the calendar for this year at the end of last season, and back then the closing day was set to be Sunday the 30th of November, but for whatever reason they've cut the park's operating season by a day. This was done in the middle of the year, and when they did that they actually removed the closing day fireworks, and that's how we actually got the late night riding event with fireworks on the 2nd of August. That wasn't planned initially in the calendar, but for whatever reason they've suddenly decided to add it back to the calendar, and I'm not happy about it at all. Those of you who've watched any of my late night riding vlogs before will know that I'm not a fan of fireworks, and it's only a 6-hour day. It's an 11 AM opener and a 5 PM closer, meaning guests will just have 5 hours to experience South Park rides. Obviously they close early at 4 PM. Like, your most popular rides on park, Icon and Big One, always get the biggest queues. They're only going to be operating for 5 hours. A lot of us Pleasure Beach fans, myself especially, been complaining about this for years. The park just don't listen though. Like, why can't they either extend the park closing time to like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or whatever? Like, it's not going to make that much of a difference, is it? Or just have the fireworks at like 5:30 so that they don't have to close the South Park rides early. It's just so frustrating. This is the second closing day in a row they've done this now, and it's just not enjoyable. An 11 till 5 opener when they're running fireworks at 5 o'clock, they're just not fun days at all. But there we go. I told you that'd be a long segment, but we are now on to the Pleasure Beach shopping updates. And just a quick disclaimer, when it comes to Pleasure Beach shopping updates, I'm not going to go through every single new item that they've released since last time, otherwise we'd be here all day. However, I am going to go over the core news in these videos, and something to note that's coming up is that they're going to be having a Black Friday sale which will be launching on Friday the 14th of November, and those wishing to gain exclusive access to various offers and discounts that are going to be associated with that should sign up to the mailings list, which can be done via the Pleasure Beach Shopping website. They also tend to release a lot of Christmas merch, so be sure to stay on the lookout for potential Christmas gifts for yourself, your friends and your family. In terms of other news, I should probably tell you, because I have nothing else that I can think of to name this segment. Infusion, the infamously painful headbanging of a Vekoma SLC, most are painful, but this is considered to be one of the worst, hit its millionth ride cycle in October, so that's a million ride cycles of 16 riders per train, which is a total of 16 million headaches delivered to guests. It'll be slightly less than that, obviously, because not every seat is going to have been filled on every train that's been sent out. But wow, I hope you're proud, Pleasure Beach. Now, it isn't clear whether this accounts for when the ride operated as Traumatizer at Southport Pleasureland, recently renamed to Adventure Coast Southport. It obviously opened there initially in 1999 when the park was a sister park of Pleasure Beach. It was owned by the same family, the Thompson family, and then it was relocated for the 2007 season after the Thompson family closed Pleasureland in 2006 due to financial difficulties. And last but not least, we are on to the Aviktas news. Now, this is an exciting one. What appears to be the first parts of Aviktas have arrived on site. Shout out to Sean from Theme Park Worldwide, who was the first person I saw report this in his video surrounding the Parkwide behind the scenes event, which I covered previously. But yeah, we've seen numerous components of the ride arriving over the past week. These include what we believe to be the ride's motor, the catwalks that are going to go at the top of the ride, the supports, and also the pendulum that obviously the big disc is going to be attached to, that you're going to sit on, that is going to swing back and forth up to that height of 138 foot. I'm overlaying this video with numerous pictures that people have taken of these parts. Unfortunately, I've not been able to go to the park over the past week due to some health issues, but hopefully I'll be back this weekend. And also, we've had another teaser video posted by the park, similar to the one we had in September, sort of the second part of that mini-series they're doing. We've got a new caption. Movement has been detected across the construction site, a shape beneath the sand, patterns forming where they shouldn't be any. And deep within the tunnels, the same glyphs have reappeared, the ones we thought belonged to legend. Obviously that is referencing the green writing that people spotted in the tunnels maze at Journey to Hell. And this is just the beginning. I think it's safe to say now that we are just days away from seeing vertical construction begin on the construction site. All the parts are assembled, ready to go. We're going to be seeing an 138 foot erection at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and I can't wait. It'll be interesting to see what happens, as there is an Uncovering Aviktas event set to take place at 5:30 p.m. after the final fireworks display for Pleasure Beach fan club members. Now, for those who aren't aware, the Pleasure Beach fan club is a free-to-join group, and Pleasure Beach hosts several events for people in this group every season. The last one was a inner space event all about Launchpad back in May that went down really well, so I highly recommend these events to you guys who are Pleasure Beach fans. Now, during this event, attendees are set to get a behind-the-scenes sneak peek at the ride, including never-before-seen updates and surprises, with the event priced at £57 per person. I'm sure it is going to be well worth that. And I mean, the rate the park are going, I reckon the ride's main structure may be fully built by then, because it doesn't typically take long to build a flat ride. We're typically talking days, not weeks or months like a coaster. Personally, and I have no insider knowledge here, I'm just speculating, but I think we'll be seeing attendees going onto the construction site itself, which no one's got to do before, except people who work at the park. And I think we'll likely have something major announced there. Not necessarily an opening date, because Pleasure Beach are typically really bad when it comes to announcing them far in advance, but I reckon we'll possibly see some lore, like storyline get announced, maybe something about the effects that are going to be used on the ride. There's been rumours of fire being used and stuff like that. I reckon there may even be a Q&A with Intamin, the ride manufacturer. They may have someone or some people from Intamin flying over from Switzerland for it. I think it's going to be really, really big. Now, unfortunately, I'm not actually going to be able to attend this. I'm pretty gutted, I can't lie, because as I said, I think it's going to be a really big thing. And for the people who are there, it's going to be something really special and memorable. And neither is Josh or Danielle either, or a lot of creators actually, because Your Experience Guide announced a while ago that they're doing a trip to Madrid, an event, so to speak, with ERTs and stuff at Park Warner, and that's happening on closing day. And obviously, Your Experience Guide are known for their Pleasure Beach content, so a lot of Pleasure Beach fans will be at that. So there's not going to be much coverage of this on YouTube, I don't think, which is a real shame. But there we have it. If I've missed anything, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know your thoughts on this series. How did you find this video? Did you enjoy it? Are you excited for future videos in it? And yeah, as I said before, none of you barely have watched my rankings video for the Halloween 2025 scare mazes I've done, so go and check out that on the right side of your screen. Click the icon on the left side of your screen to subscribe to the channel for more things theme park related in the UK and beyond. I'm Ben, you've been watching ThrillNet, and I'll catch you again soon.